Good morning and welcome back to another SaTAROTday with Salann of the Two Pondering Pagans. Let's get started. As you can tell, today is a little bit different. It's early and I'm feeling very red. I am feeling very strong. I am feeling very connected. I am feeling slightly angry at certain things that are happening in the world right now, and supporting of people having the rights to do what they want with their own body despite my personal opinion. I'm just coloring up to match the way I feel today. Excuse me. There are certain things in this world that are made political that are not political. And regardless of how you feel personally about certain things, when I argue or disagree or state my case, as I get older, I learn the argument's not really important. What becomes important is the fact that I have no right to control what somebody else does with their body, even if I don't like it. I'm also learning that when I argue with somebody, no, we're not just going to agree to disagree. We're not just going to say, you can be however you want to be. Because you can. But you don't have to be in my life for it. Right? And it's no longer about disagreeing about topics in some cases. It's core values and character. And while I support fully everybody's right to choose and do what they want to do, just as I expect them to choose and do what I want to do, if it doesn't match your life. Those core values of caring about other people and allowing other people to have full autonomy over themselves, that's a line I'm not willing to cross. So, in light of recent events and things that have been happening in the world, and this being a general energy tarot and read, I don't need you to agree with me that we should be sad about the recent U.S. events and changes in law. I just need those of you that care to agree with me that we don't have the right to tell other people what to do or legislate their bodies. Either way, it's not right. It is truly not right. So, that being said, I am using a different tarot deck today. This is I'm so used to grabbing the box and showing it. It's the Naked Heart Tarot by Jillian Wild. I'll put the box up there. But this is a gorgeous, gorgeous deck, and I felt a need to kind of just get it out there and use something that I haven't used in a while, or at all, I think, ever on stream for tarot. Because I want to see what the energies are today. One thing I am going to say is I have done my meditation this morning. I feel good and confident, but I also recognize that there will be and is bias no matter what we do. There's bias. I'm hoping to keep that out of this read, but I am angry at how things have been playing out and what the future holds for me and my family and my friends who I don't know. There's just so many things going on. So perhaps this will come out in some of the shadow work we're doing, but it's rough. And it's not even rough for me. Like, it's just, I can't. It's hard. But knowing that, knowing how things go, knowing what life is, right? Knowing what we're doing, knowing how tarot is driven by a human, me in this case, alongside of hopefully my connections with the divine and the universal energy to give you a read that is unbiased is easy to say, hard to do, and it's going to be attempted. So there's going to probably be some draw in here. I'm sure of it. But we're going to get started anyway. We're going to go ahead and do this because I need to do tarot and I need to share what the energy is for the week. I know it is so unhealthy, but Coke Zero Starlight is so freaking good. Oh my God. So I'm assuming you guys have been hearing me talk, right? And shuffle while I've been talking. So I just want to go ahead and say that we've got a good start here. Our cards that I have pulled this morning are giving me messages after message after message already. So first we have the Hanged Man. Second, we have Temperance. Third, we have Ace of Wands. Being that 4 is a structural number, I feel the need to pull a fourth card. 10 of Wands. So, fire. In the words of, I'm not even going to go Beavis and Butthead, it's just fire, fire, fire. We got fire here. We've got fire, we've got new and end. We've got perspective and balance and active forge work, meaning actively pulling things from the forge. Now, here's an interesting way to look at the forge, right? The reason I bring up the forge really is coming from Temperance, because Temperance is about tempering something. And the first thing that always comes to me in symbolism for Temperance is tempering things and creating them into something new. So tempering, and I'm not going to say it right probably, but tempering iron or whatever it is we use in the day to make swords, right? You temper the sword to make it stronger, and you do that by using the forge. Well, what is the forge? It's a cauldron. It's a cauldron of fire, but it's still a cauldron. Cauldron is our representation of water and of the womb and of the creative ability of a human being, female mostly, right? Well, it's early still. I've been up for a grand total of probably 30 minutes. Got up, got a soda, started meditating. So some things are going to be weird. But point is, this is the womb of fire in Temperance that is begetting the temper or the change. Now, some of you may be able to go as far as, that womb of fire needs to be revered, but the person needs to be revered behind it too, right? So that's a big part of it. The forge doesn't exist outside of itself. So Temperance is going to be really important today. That's where the forge is coming from, and I just want to make that connection before we get started to reading here. Hanged Man, for me, Hanged Man is really, really specific as it comes to perspective. It could mean a shakeup, like there's going to be a little bit of a shakeup in whatever it is that we're trying to do as far as our perspective or how we're looking at something, or you need to look at something differently. It can mean kind of like releasing everything that you have into the world or into the new perspective or the new way of looking at things, right? So something like maybe changing your mindset from this is how we've always done it, right? So the Hangman could say that you're looking at things differently. What I am seeing the Hangman saying is your perspective is about to change on something, and it needs to. You need to, even if you don't change your opinion or your mind about whatever's happening in your life for the next couple weeks or the next time frame, you need to develop an ability to look at things in a new perspective. Again, even if you don't agree with it or change your opinion, you still need to be able to see things. That's empathy, right? Looking at things from a different perspective or from a different person's kind of, input or personality, I should say. So definitely need to pay attention to that. Hangman is seriously telling us to maybe let something go, and evolve into something a little bit newer. Back to Temperance is our second card. Again, Temperance to me is active. It is very, very active, actually. The other thing I want to say about Temperance is that for me, Temperance is really specific when it comes to, looking at how we transform something. And this is a different meaning, I think, than what many people really kind of look at when it comes to the tarot. I know there's, our standard meanings and just how we do things in general. We really talk about moderation. We talk about balance and how things are evened out on Temperance's scales, especially in the Hanged Tarot. It's the scale symbol, which to me is a little bit more on the judgment side, but regardless. Temperance isn't just balance or equality, although it definitely represents equality and very much fits in today's environment, that we need to be looking at things from a level of balance or from an equality and justice perspective. But Temperance is seriously, for me, about active balance. It's not just the scales and balancing the scales, it's active. Remember, I talked about the Forge earlier. This is both an active fire card and a womb, cauldron, water card mixed into one, and bring in the rest of it in Temperance. When you use physical strength to temper the sword, you're using the balance of earth. You're using what's in the here and the now. And you have to have a skill set that's really special to make this work, right? To know how to do all these things. Blacksmithing is a skill when using the Forge. So that is your air. So this balance is all elements, it's all in, and it's active. So this means when we are talking about a weekly general or energy read, that we are looking for an active balance of things. We have to go out and do the work and learn the skill and use the water, the forge, the womb, and use what we have with us and our strength to transform what's happening in our lives or what's being done into some action in order to achieve the balance. It's not going to just happen. So that is where we are so far. So our energies, what we need to do to set ourselves on the path right now is changing our perspective, not changing our minds, but changing our perspective and being willing to look at things from a different way. Tempering, actively going out and seeking the balance, using all of the elements that we have to us, putting the energies out into the forge of transformation of fire and action to get a balance and a temperance of something new that is meaningful to us. Then we go to the Ace of Wands. Traditionally, aces stand for what? New beginnings, right? This is your start card. This is the go card. This is also the full embodiment of that energy. So the Ace of Wands isn't just the baby beginning, let's take the first step. While it does mean that, and it does mean that active get up and go, that starting, that beginning, new beginnings in the realm of fire, which, Temperance, hello, we're talking here, same thing. Ace is also the full embodiment of everything that wands are, everything that fire is. So when it comes up in a reading, for me, it's really important that we understand that new beginnings don't mean necessarily, they can, depending on the cards that are around it, but they don't necessarily mean I'm a beginner at something, or this is a new thing for me, or I have to figure this new process or thing out. I'm getting sad because it's getting light outside already. My red is starting to drop down a little bit because of the light coming up here. But the Ace of Wands is really wanting to have growth or the potential or the moving forward. So now it's not just about the new perspective and the forge. It's Temperance. It's we got to go do this now. It's time. This is a full action. Your inspiration is here. Your growth time is now. So we need to pull in all of our energies. This is a very fire-heavy read for the minor arcana. Thankfully, Temperance will help balance that out. But that Ace of Wands is saying, there's no time but now. Now is the time. We should have already been doing whatever it is we're doing, but we've waited. It's okay. But we can't wait anymore. It's time. Action is now. And for the 10 of Wands to come up right after the 1, this is talking about everything that has come through the entire process, right? So we've gone from the beginning to the end. Alpha to the Omega. We've gone through the whole process. So we've started with our beginnings, and we're immediately already at our end. So that is this level of complexity and completion that is necessary, again, now. From a time perspective, pulling a 1 next to a 10 is the most immediate possible energy that you can get in a tarot read from my perspective. So this means like you are actively carrying this heavy load in this process and this thing that's coming to it. You're actively doing it. So you got to do it now, right? We didn't go from the Ace of Wands to the 3 to the 5 and say, okay, take your time. Let's get this energy moving. It feels good. No, this is burden. This is complexity. In the card, you see the, I'm assuming that's a llama, camel probably. It's dark in here. I'll get pictures up soon when we do editing. But it's the animal's carrying a heavy burden. And this is the completion, right? So think about when you're talking about having such a heavy burden to carry at the end of something, you're still carrying it. Like, it's not over. So this time frame is so incredibly urgent, and now that we have no choice but to pay attention to what the cards are telling us to do. So from a individual perspective, from a you perspective, as an energy individual, as an energy of the universe, as being all connected, as above, so below, as within, so without, and all of the other things we say about how the magic's together. People drive by our house so fast. It is a small road with lots of kids and animals. It drives me nuts. Sorry. By the window. But as an individual, what is this reading telling you today? Be willing to empathize and shift your perspective. Always be willing to change your mind, but we're not talking about actually changing your mind. We're just talking about perspective. Allow perspective to come to you and be integrated in what you're doing. Allow your mind to have change. Temper the action that you are in. So you need to go out and work on whatever it is you're working on. If you want balance in your life, it's not going to happen. You have to make it happen. We're going to go out, we're going to look at equality, we're going to go look at all the things that we need to transform in the cauldron of fire and go to the next level. The Ace of Wands is saying the energy time is now. Let's get started. Let's bring in this new growth and these new opportunities that we are working on, that we need to develop. And then the 10 of Wands, we're going to go right into the completion of this process. This is a short term, right now, we need to work on it energy. So as an individual, if you have something going on right now, no matter how big or small that project is or that thing is that you're doing, whether it's just a mindset change. For me, I'm reading this as I need to continue very hard on my shadow work, because shadow is bubbling up even more right now than I thought it was. Like it's all over the place. So this is telling me to make those actions and those perspectives changes now and continue them and keep them going, despite how heavy the burden may feel as we go through what I'm doing. So for you, that might mean something different, but it is still the same energy. It is now, start, go. It's time for growth. It's time for action. It's time for transformation. This is no more preparation. This is no more about putting things together and trying to learn new things and let's go out and read a book. This is walk the walk, run, do whatever it is, full speed, go, go, go. This is a go, go, go reading for sure. And then as a general, right, as a energetic universal energy, things are going to be changing very fast. Things are going to change around us. Things are going to be burdensome. They're not going to go the way we want them as a universe. So the universe and the energy of the universe, I think, in my personal practice, already knows the direction that humanity needs to go in order to achieve that enlightenment or whatever it is we're searching for, to be better human beings to each other and to everybody around us. It already knows. We're not following that. So this is telling me it is going to get worse before it gets better as a general overarching energy, but it doesn't change the fact that in order to get where we need to go, we have to look at our perspectives. We have to temper from the cauldron right now, and we have to take the fire energy and move it forward. So this week's reading is all about the red. It is all about the power. It is all about the action of moving forward. I can't tell you how interesting it is, other than the Hanged Man, which is not a fire card traditionally. This is more of an emotional, a blue or a yellow, an air card. Because the Hanged Man is talking about your mindset, your perspective. But Temperance, which is the most balanced card to me in the entire deck because of the way you have to temper things and use things. But it is very highly representative of fire, as are both wands. The redness around me, the energy around me is fire, fire, fire. We have moved from water into full-on fire right now. So please, if you have something in your head, do it. If you have something you've been wanting to do, do it. If something is bothering you, change it. If something is on your mind, say it. Get it out into the universe, because this is all about go and do. That's our keywords this week. So that is it for the reading today. So I hope you enjoy, and I hope you get something out of this. I would love to hear your comments, any thoughts that you have related to today's reading, things that you may have read differently, things that you enjoyed or don't enjoy. I'd love to hear all comments and see how things go for you. So hope you enjoyed, and I am going to go work on the fish tanks right now because they need changed, and I probably need to bring in some water to put out some of this fire a little bit because it's wound up, as you can tell. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Have a great weekend and great rest of your week. And remember that you're the person that has the control to do the things you do. And while we may not agree on many, many, many things, there has to be a line where values matter and our individuality matters and our choices matter, at least in and of ourselves. So the last thing I am going to say is, political or not, I am very angry at the decisions that have currently been made in the United States Supreme Court. I cannot understand ever what it's going to be like to be pregnant, have a child myself, or grow basically a parasite in my body for 9 months before giving birth. I will never know what that's like. And while I can't myself ever think I would want an abortion for any reason, I just can't imagine it. I don't own your body. You do. And I support you in your decision regardless of what you do. I will always be there for any of my female women friends, whatever you call yourself. If you are looking for and or are in need of a service or something such as an abortion, I will support you. I just will, because it's not my right to tell you how to do what you do with your own body. It just isn't, and nor is it anybody else's but yours. So anyway, that's how I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoy. Thanks.